It was a Vinicius Jr show with 1 goal and 1 amazing assist to roll back the years as Real Madrid cruised past Salzburg. Lots of great finishes to break down today. Xabi Alonso's men topped their group to get into the last 16. Real Madrid are building up from the back now. Tchouaméni takes it from centre half, passes it to Valverde, who's dropping deep. He's found himself in kind of like the half space area over here, which is a great position to be as a midfielder because the Salzburg front line and midfield line don't know whether to keep up with him. We see that Tchouaméni passes it to his right foot. In a better case, it would have been better to send it to Valverde's left foot for him to be able to bring it forward. But Valverde does a great job to take it on his right foot, which is his back foot there, and take a directional first touch to play it forward. And now he finds himself seeing the gap to Bellingham, which he does find, and Bellingham takes it on his back foot as well. And here he does the same thing with what Valverde did for him and threads it through for Vinicius here. Vinicius opens his body up. Keeper does a good job. This is great positioning from the keeper to stop the shot. You can see his feet are stretched, making his body wide, and he gets the save. Now I want to talk a little bit about what happens after the save. So we can see it here. Saves. Bellingham is already on his toes to receive the ball in this half space at the edge of the box. Now, he takes it on his back foot. This is a great job. But right now, he is still pressed hard by 2 Salzburg players. And he's in a pretty dangerous position. If he loses it, they get counter-attacked. But what he does next is just an amazing piece of skill. Croqueta to release himself from not only the first, second, but also the third player. And Real Madrid win back possession. Goal for Madrid now. They win it on a counter-attack. Swept up from the fullback. He buys himself some space. And here, he does a nice little body feint to get past another Salzburg player. And if he were to take this on, you wouldn't blame him because he has momentum with him, but he does the right thing. He passes it back in the opposite direction, which takes out this Salzburg player, and Real Madrid carried forward. Goulet takes a turn, passes it off to Bellingham, and Bellingham looks up. Now, in this situation, the counter-attack isn't as dangerous. But what is dangerous for Real Madrid now is they have 2 attackers attacking 2 defenders from Salzburg. And the decision made right now is the absolute perfect one because instead of playing a traditional ball to feet for the striker to hold it up, Bellingham sends it long, which completely takes out these 4 midfielders from Salzburg. And it becomes a straight-on 2v2 at the top with one of those players being Vinicius Jr. Now, I want to point out what he does over here. First, he gets himself between the ball and the defender. So that buys himself half a second of time. You see, he's already separated himself from the defender. This lets him go head-on with the defender when the defender hasn't even shifted his body positioning. So that allows Vinicius to take him away from blocking him. And from here, it's just a sweet finish on his left foot, bottom corner. Chance for Salzburg. Courtois is building it up. He lays it off to the midfielder. He takes it with his back foot. This is good. One option he has is to go square over here, but it's unfortunate and a heavy first touch, and they lose it. Salzburg build up. Now notice when the ball is won, it's kind of like a 3-on-5 for Salzburg over here, with Salzburg having the advantage. It's just a shame that what he ends up doing next is just taking the shot from the worst possible angle. If he scores from here, then all credit to him. But he has so many other options. He could have squared it back. He could have squared here. He could have tried a dinked far post ball. He does none of that. And Real Madrid, despite still being outnumbered at the back, get away very easily here. Tchouaméni does the right thing as he jockeys and jockeys because they're outnumbered, and this eventually forces the Salzburg player to make the mistake of taking the tame shot. Goal for Real Madrid now. Salzburg try to play it forward. This is classic striker dropping deep, but he loses that battle with the centre-back. And there, Bellingham is there to pick up the second ball. Controls it. Look at his directional first touch. He doesn't just control it, he controls it into where the space could be, which is where the space on the left side of the referee is. He takes it, dings it past the defender. Now the cheeky thing is that he's already taken the touch here. He could have continued to drive forward here, but instead, and that's what all the Salzburg players expect him to do, because Valverde is making this run, the striker is going to drop deep, but Bellingham goes the opposite direction. And right now, all these Salzburg players are taken out of the game. Goulet then rolls it back the other way. It takes a deflection here and there, but Vinicius then is there to pounce in this situation. He's already through on goal. He's already got himself between the defender and the ball. In this moment, you could have forgiven him for shooting, but he must have heard the shout from Valverde, and this was a nice little cutback for Valverde to finish. Salzburg chance now. I want to break down again that they have 5 over here versus Madrid's 4. So this is really strange at how it all plays out. And it kind of ends up wrong because of a heavy first touch. The striker doesn't control it well, but because it comes off in a heavy way, it ends up being like a 50-50 ball where 2 players on the same team are competing for it, and the latter player just picks it up and ends up taking a really weak shot from far out. Chance for Madrid, it's a free kick. Valverde controls, and you know it from the goals he scored before. He's only going to do one thing. He could have taken it here, and he might have gotten a shot well on target. But this is a great piece of skill. I don't really blame the defender for trying to block like this. Ideally, you would keep yourself grounded, L-shaped, hands behind your back. But we've seen those rockets from Valverde. So, if the defender is trying to gamble to block a high-flying shot, Valverde is just sold him there, and he goes for the left foot. Let's break down Madrid's third goal now. We can see that they are counter-attacking from, I would think, is a set play or a ball won back from a throw. And this was very similar to the first goal scored. We have 2-on-2 isolated very high up and nowhere in the midfield, or in this case, if there was a Salzburg midfield, it would have been bypassed with one through ball. That is exactly what happens. It's played through. What kind of ends up happening here is like a 50-50 for the striker and the centre-back. And now it's in fact in the favour of this centre-back, but I think he's just left it a bit too late. He's slowed down at the last second, trying to toe poke it away. I feel he had several other safer options to do. One, if he got there quicker, he could have laid it off to his other centre-back over here. Second option would be to take it on your back foot and pass it back to the keeper. And third, and obviously the safest option, is to just hoof it away. He does none of that and just comes off wrong. And right here, he's still got a lot to do. Keeper has kind of closed out all angles from the front. So unless he pulls off a cheeky nutmeg, he's not going to score. It's a great finish, nevertheless, and they win the game. So Real Madrid beat Salzburg 3-0 and top their group as they march on to the round of 16.